Good afternoon. I'm Cameron Moore, Executive Officer with the Wilmington-Cape Home Builders Association, and this is our March Advocacy Corner. We appreciate you joining us. And again, we have Tyler Newman, CEO with BASE. Thank you, Tyler, for joining us.
Absolutely.
We're going to touch on some things this month, kind of some carryover from last month a little bit on the SUP. We'll talk about that here shortly. But Tyler, I know last week, right there at the end of February, you had a congressional meeting actually there at breakfast with the Brunswick County Association of Realtors, and actually had Congressman Rouzer. And late in February, we actually had some good news as far as with President Trump signing an executive order with the Waters of the United States, which obviously is a big topic for the Home Builders Association and development community. Talk a little bit about what David Rouzer touched on, and then maybe a little bit about the Waters of the United States as far as the executive order.
So the event last week was really well attended in Brunswick County. The Brunswick County Association of Realtors hosted Representative Rouzer on his week break from Congress. We had a town hall meeting in Supply on Friday morning. Representative Eiler was there from the state legislature. New Representative Butler was there. We had some of the county commission leadership from Brunswick County there to talk about housing issues, legislative issues, federal issues. Congressman Rouzer talked about tax reform and healthcare reform and some of those things that are coming down the pipe at the federal level. The other thing, he was a key component in our discussions on waters of the U.S. when those rules came out 2 years ago. We did a joint press release with him at the time, the State Realtors Association, BASE, the Farm Bureau, and Congressman Rouzer talking about the challenges that the rules would face in the implementation stage, the impacts on local governments and landowners if the rules were to start to regulate water in ditches and floodplains, the challenges that we would all face, especially in southeastern North Carolina. So he was a huge advocate for us on that. So to see the executive action this week by President Trump, I think that's a big thing for your industry, for the BASE members, for candidly taxpayers throughout the U.S.
Sure. I know at that press conference there, the National Association of Home Builders chairman there, and a lot of also Farm Bureau interest and farm interest were also there. So two heavy-hitting industries, and it's interesting because those are two totally different industries as far as where that Waters of the United States rule would really affect.
It's a huge impact to have, cities and counties and their respective associations join the real estate community, the business community, and expressing concern about something, and then to see the sitting president take action on trying to fix it, I think was, of the things that have happened in the past 45 days, I think that was the significant one.
Sure, I know that's something we've been waiting for since he's took office. Anything else on the federal level that Congressman Rouzer touched on that you think is significant?
I think tax reform and healthcare reform will be the main things that come out in the next few weeks probably. Obviously there'll have to be a federal budget that comes out. We'll see what that looks like. Continuing to see appointments. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson was approved. Right. Supreme Court appointments, those kinds of things will continue to move through the process.
Right. Switching gears a little bit now to the local level, obviously a little bit of a carryover. We have back to the SUP, and tonight the county commissioners at 6 o'clock will have their public hearing on that, and hopefully we can put this issue to bed, so to speak. So what are you hearing? Where are we at?
I think we're in a great spot. It's been a discussion on the special use permit in New Hanover County since 2011, making changes to the process and procedure so we have something where the businesses can come invest in New Hanover County, and also realizing the special use permits apply to daycares and residential districts and cell phone towers and all kinds of different things, not just heavy industry coming in. Through a lot of hard work, we were able to reach consensus with the environmental community. At the meeting tonight, I intend to stand up and support the changes that are being proposed. The environmental community is going to do the same.
Sure.
We've got a big business coalition that's been working on this for years, and it's nice to be at the finish line with a positive vote from the planning board, the leadership that they showed over time, and then hopefully we'll get a positive result from the commissioners tonight.
Sure, and hopefully from there we can start to move forward, obviously, with the two UDOs and really specifically the county. I know that there's been some talk about the county commissioners and the planning board having a joint meeting on the UDO to kind of get that process started with the planning consultant here in the weeks ahead. The other thing is kind of shifting gears on the City of Wilmington side, and really just municipal elections. We've got municipal elections that's coming up this November, and just kind of really honing in a little bit on the City of Wilmington. How many seats are up? And then kind of, you know, the lay of the land, so to speak, is kind of what we're looking at as that moves forward in the process.
So you've got 7 folks on city council.
Right.
The mayor is up for election again this year.
Mhm.
He gets elected every 2 years. And then you've got 3 seats on city council that are also up for election. Dr. Sheridan has already said he's not going to run again.
Right.
Councilman O'Grady and Councilman Rodenbark, I think that's still to be determined.
Mhm.
But the interesting thing is, you were talking about the development ordinance rewrite process.
Mhm.
The folks that get elected in November are going to be essentially the majority of folks that dictate what gets approved in the
It'll
development
be before then.
ordinance. Right.
Right.
So the elections are important. Elections have consequences. Finding folks now that understand the real estate and development industry and encouraging them to run for city council,
Right.
I think is as important as anything else.
That's a very good point.
You
Very
know,
good point.
and we certainly have friends that are on council right now, and we need to support them also.
Sure, sure. Well, again, this is our monthly March Advocacy Corner update. We appreciate you joining us this afternoon. We'll have an update every month coming back to you in April. Look for this to be in the Builders News, and also look for it to be actually on our social media. And with that, you can also take a look at what BASE is doing on a monthly perspective and get a little bit more analysis in our monthly toolbox as well. So with that, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate it. And Tyler, thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.